Some call him Spain's national hero. And he's buried here, in the floor of a cathedral. So far, nothing unusual about that, until you hear that he wanted his horse to be buried alongside him. We start the day leaving tiny Atapuerca and heading for the highway that runs through the town. After walking along the road to the town's outskirts, turn left onto a dirt trail. You're a hiker. It's okay to look ratty. The path starts off gently, but then climbs with a certain urgency as it comes alongside the boundary of an army base. Notice I didn't say the trail was smooth. After gaining about 1,000 meters into the mountains called Sierra Atapuerca, we top out at Cruz de Atapuerca with this slightly adorned cross and a sign commemorating the scene before us. Indeed, the view with Burgos off in the distance is special, if not a little daunting when we see how far it is to our destination for the day. From here, we descend past fields where I can't help but think that as a Camino traveler, I'm only getting a tiny glimpse of what life is like around here. We eventually wind down a dirt road, just missing the village of Vilval. We're now on asphalt, which will last for a few more kilometers. The next point of interest is Cathedral Rio Pico. We've gone 7 kilometers. Then we continue walking to nearby Arbaneja Rio Pico. After passing through the village, the Camino currently skirts by road construction, passing over a highway. From there, turn left. There's a choice of 2 routes. Continue straight on the official Camino, which runs along noisy Highway A1, or at the first left turn, head onto this unmarked road for a much preferable alternate that stays off the highway and is far quieter. Soon, we skirt along the Burgos airport's main runway. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly scenic from here, but trust me, it does get better. The detour even brings with it the kind of advertising a long-distance hiker might appreciate. Finally, we come to the village of Castañeras, where we follow signs for Burgos and the Rio Orlanza, which we cross. Then we pass under Highway A1 and enter the rather large Parque de Fuentes Blancas. Continue on the dirt path that runs alongside the river. Burgos starts appearing across the water, but stay on the Camino for another kilometer or 2 or 3. Of course, it depends on what you've booked for your accommodations, but eventually we have to leave the park by crossing the river and entering the completely different world of a large city. The main attraction here is no doubt the French Gothic Cathedral, officially known as the Cathedral of St. Mary of Burgos. Using white limestone, construction started on it in 1221 and took an amazing 4 centuries to finish. To my mind, what distinguishes it from any other church we'll see along the Camino are the filigree spires added in the 15th century. And oh yeah, the massive footprint of this thing. Walk inside and you could get lost. Multitudes of bishops and others of renown are buried throughout the building. That includes this tomb of El Cid, located a little off from the cathedral center.
Let's consider El Cid for a moment. He was born just before the turn of the 11th century, and his real name was Rodrigo Diaz. Now, at the young age of 22, he was appointed commander of the Castilian royal troops, and he went off to fight the Moors who were occupying northeastern Spain. Now, El Cid, which is Arabic for Lord, switched sides and then switched back again, at which point he laid siege to the Moors who were occupying Valencia and freed it for the Christians. And then, after El Cid died, the Moors took it back again. So what do we have here? A legend made him a hero, and there's a town named after one of his more ruthless acts.
But we'll get to that in a later video. For now, let's consider how El Cid demanded in his will to be buried in the cathedral with this warhorse named Babieca. The bishops, no doubt thinking they would be the butt of a lot of jokes, put the kibosh to that notion and instead buried El Cid with his wife, Doña Jimena. The horse didn't get a vote in the matter. One last thought about Burgos. During Spain's Civil War that lasted between 1936 and 1939, the dictator Francisco Franco, known sometimes as El Papa Francisco, made the city the capital of his regime. You know, it's hard to imagine that kind of turmoil. It's such a lovely place.